everyone now is talking about, is the Mighty Morphin scene that we've seen in the 30th trailer for Once and Always a flashback, or is it something different? Now, I don't actually think this is a flashback whatsoever, mainly because of all the evidence that we've seen around with certain photos, as well as some elements that's going on in the trailer. I generally really don't think that this is a flashback, and I think that this is kind of the final battle for the Power Rangers, or the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, against Rita. There's just so much stuff that doesn't kind of make sense for it to be a flashback to me, and I'm going to kind of go through everything right now and see what you think. If you think this is exactly the same, or if you think it's a flashback, we're going to have a discussion in the comments. So let's get this video started. Now, again, I feel like this is a present day, and when we kind of look at all the evidence around, mainly the photos, mainly the video evidence that we've seen, David looks like he's battle damaged and everything. It feels like he's going toe to toe with Rita, has always been. He's been in a fight before, and this is the kind of final thing. Maybe it's Rita actually taking on Billy for the first time, and she's just had enough of him and wants to attack him. But when we look at all the shots, first of all, we've seen the Rangers in the suits. So again, it could be a thing where they take their helmets off at the end and go like, finally the nightmare's over. Or when we've seen the scene of them looking like, could be the fact that they're going against Rita. They're the only two, with Walter and David, are the only two people that can actually take down Rita. And yes, I use their real names and not their actual character names. So I'm going to correct that and say Billy and Zach. But every single time that we've seen where they are, like we've seen David actually have his morpher out near the kind of coast where people are fighting, and then we've seen him kind of standing around at that time, and it just makes more sense for it to be a present day thing than a flashback. Now, we've also seen how robots work in Power Rangers. We've seen it with J-Borg in basically Dino Fury, you can call it something else then, but then we've seen it in Dimensions in Danger, when literally we had a robot army of Power Rangers. We saw that you could create a robotic body with a realistic flesh looking tone over them, no problem. We saw it with Antonio very, very quickly. And yet, you know, if Robo Rita is going to be there, she's going to probably look like she used to, or it's going to be someone else that they kind of program it over. Maybe it's Barbara Goodson. Who knows what it's going to be in that one? I would laugh if it's Barbara Goodson. I have just generally thought of that. But either way, we know how robots are. When I first heard Robo Rita, I generally thought of an actual robot, silver, like face, stuff like that. But considering what we've seen with robots and general stuff, that's not the case. So I generally think that this is going to be Rita in her normal outfit. It's not going to be like a mecha thing or whatever. This is literally how Rita's going to be. But when we look at all the surroundings, again, that's when we can turn around and go, all right, I actually think that this is going to be present day, not a flashback. You also have these little things that they've changed on the costume. The cuffs, the power coins, everything looks a little bit different, mainly with the cuffs. But one of the other features is Tommy's armbands. I know everyone's going to say, oh, they're little things, like no one cares. But if they didn't care, they wouldn't have upgraded them, would they? Like, we've seen it in Super Megaforce when Tommy walks up and he has the armband. We've seen it in in Ninja Steel, Super Ninja Steel, where he turns into the Green Ranger. The armbands are exactly the same as they were back in the day. So why would you update them now? And if people go like, oh, well, you know, the set designers, they just didn't pay attention to it. Well, you kind of think it'd be very easy to pay attention to. I think these little upgrades that we have are a way of saying this isn't back in the day, because yet I know flashbacks can be a bit weird, but yet again, you'd be kind of thinking like, do you remember that time we fought over here? And yet again, none of the Rangers fought in that area because obviously it wasn't filmed in New Zealand or anything like that. And from what I understand is every single episode of Mighty Morphin going forward has always been, it happens a week later after it, or the next day, or whatever it is. So I generally kind of really think that this is not the kind of flashback. I feel like this is a completely brand new scene, which I'd be really kind of cool against. Not unless they do the entire thing. No, they wouldn't, because then they'd have to be on the beach or in the quarry, and it wouldn't work for them doing the whole, like, when Tommy joins the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the first time. So I generally don't think that it's a flashback in that sort of sense. I do kind of generally think that they would keep the suits hanging about, like the certain accessories. Not unless they had to send them all the way back to Japan, because obviously with Zenkaija and Dom Brothers, where they use the abilities, where we've seen Tari use Dragon Ranger. Yes, I saw that comment. But we saw Dragon Ranger actually within, Dom Brothers, where that was completely different. So again, like, I don't know why they would redo the armbands and that. Probably they kept the suits all the way through. With all the stuff that's going on, I generally think that this is brand new footage. I feel like this is something brand new that we've not seen before. And I think it would be really cool. If they did a flashback, to me personally, I think it would kind of ruin it a bit to me. I don't really kind of like the thought of like, oh, do you remember back in the day when we fought Rita in a location that never happened? Or any part of the story where Rita would never come down from Earth from season 1 at least. I know she did in season 2 a lot with Catherine and stuff. But I think it would just kind of ruin that sort of thing for me a little bit. But again, I don't know. Would that ruin it for you? Would you rather it just be Mighty Morphin happened and then this is a brand new thing rather than it being not like a flashback and stuff like that? What do you think? Flashback? Not flashback. Let me know down below in the comments on what you think is going to happen. And yeah, do you think that all the evidence stacks up that this is a brand new scene? Or do you think, again, flashback? Anyway, I am going to leave it there. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, I will catch you in the next video. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。